Hey music friends, this is Davi Vasc. I'm a music composer for games, and today we're listening to the soundtrack of 9 Souls. Remember 9 Souls? This one is Long Awaited Death, G's theme. I know this track, I've heard this track before because I've beaten this game. I even streamed this game on the gameplay channel. But it's been a while and the name of the track alone doesn't ring a bell. So, let's go. Let's see. I'll probably remember this. Yeah, the Bulgarian choirs, of course. Very dissonant. Man, there's a lot of dissonance in the soundtrack. So far, I don't remember the track. Some of the tracks... Oh, this one! I remember this one. This is one of the most... If it's the one I'm thinking of. It's one of the most melodic ones, right? Man, there's such a... They managed to achieve such a special vibe with this soundtrack. Oh yeah, this. Hold up. Before we go into this part, yeah, I remember this track. This track, out of all the boss themes, I feel like was one of the most lyrical, emotional, and melodic ones. I remember the string part. I was waiting for it to show up. But before we go into that main part, let me show you the Bulgarian choirs. A lot of people in soundtracks, for some reason, especially game soundtracks, I feel like they really like the sound of the Bulgarian choir. It has such an exotic sound to it, and one of the things that is very characteristic about Bulgarian choir is the dissonances. They usually make these harmonies with such weird intervals, weird notes that seemingly clash with each other, but they sing in such perfect pitch that, man, there's such an exotic feel to the dissonances that... Let me show you some of these weird exotic dissonances that they're using here. Guys, check this out. The bass starts here, right? This anchors the song into this note, but then look at this chord, how weird and exotic and dissonant it sounds. And they just hold these dissonant notes. And then the next one. Listen to this. So the first chord is like this. And by the way, a regular chord that would normally be used in a song like this, if this was not like a very dissonant Bulgarian choir, they would do something like this. A regular sad chord, right? And the notes are... There is space between them. There's, you know, usually in triads, which are normal chords that we use in everyday music, there's an interval, you know, of a third between the notes. It's a nice, pleasant interval. But in the Bulgarian choir, because they have this specific characteristic of exploring these dissonances, the notes are very clustered together. Look at these 3 notes, how close together they are here in the piano roll, and look how exotic it sounds. But then the next chord that they do is even more exotic. Look, they do this. Listen to the sound, and listen to these 2 notes specifically, how close together they are. They are as close as they can possibly be on a piano. They're so close that when you listen to them, it almost feels like these 2 notes, they fuse together and become one. There's this weird resonance. Look. There's this weird vibration to it. It sounds otherworldly, sounds kind of alien. I feel like that's probably why they like the Bulgarian choir so much in these fantasy games, you know, anime, movies. Once you start recognizing the sound of the Bulgarian choir, you can hear it everywhere. It's everywhere in media, especially in fantasy. It has this exotic, otherworldly feel to it. And the string part is about to... Oh! Amazing, man. There's... Amazing. There's no other boss track in the game like this. The strings in this game, they sound so good. Amazing. I wonder why. I wonder why they chose G specifically. I wonder why they chose G specifically for such a human theme like this. There are other bosses in the game, as far as I remember, that have very human, dramatic stories, right? Relatable kind of stories. You know, they're human characters. They have their tragedies, their flaws, their virtues, their wishes. But G specifically has this very human, lyrical, emotional soundtrack. I wonder why. Because the other soundtracks for the other bosses are mostly very atmospheric, right? There's not a ton of melody. They started the track with the Bulgarian choir with the otherworldly alien feel. It almost sounds like they're trying to sound inhuman, right? With the Bulgarian choir. But then they build up. There's a build up of emotion, and then it explodes into this human string part. And another thing about strings, about orchestra, when I play the game, I noticed that the game tends to sound inhuman and lifeless in the music, purposefully, of course. But then when E has those flashbacks, remember, flashbacks of his childhood with his sister and with his parents and stuff, the soundtrack becomes so colorful and rich with the orchestra. So I've come to associate the strings, the beautiful orchestra in this game, with fond memories, with nostalgia for a more colorful past, a past with more humanity, a past with more emotion. So I wonder what the strings mean here. Are they symbolizing G's, you know, humanity, G's emotion? I'm gonna show you the very human chords that they use in this part, which are very contrasting to the inhuman, to the alien chords that they were using in the Bulgarian part in the beginning of the song. Check this out, guys. Check this out. How human, how dramatic these chords are on the string part. It's such a drastic change from the rest of the track. So beautiful. Right? So beautiful, man. There's tragedy in it. There's a sadness, there's a longing. And one of the interesting things about this part, as well as the bass, you've seen that the chords are changing, right? But the bass remains stationary. That's so interesting. It creates such an interesting dissonance, such an interesting richness in the sound. I'm gonna play it again for you, but I'm gonna highlight the bass this time. Look at what the bass is doing. The chords are changing all the time, right? They're expressing different emotions, but then the bass just does this. Refuses to move. It's everlasting. Unchanging. Unmoving. I feel like we can extrapolate from that a few things about G, because G is immortal, right? And the name of the track is Long Awaited Death. Like, he or she is expecting this for a long time. They cannot die and they want to die. So I feel like the unmoving, unchanging bass, I feel like it really reflects G's immortal nature, right? But another thing that I noticed about this harmony, man, is how much they tease a resolution. If you've watched this channel, you know that a resolution in music, in functional harmony, is, you know, when you build tension using these tense chords, you build tension and then you resolve the tension going from a tense chord to, you know, a more restful chord. Here, especially in one of these parts here, they build tension, they go from the happy chord to the tense chord, but instead of resolving the tension, going to a restful chord, they start over, and they start building tension again without resolving the tension. I feel like this, again, sounds very appropriate when you think about the predicament that G is in. His life or her life doesn't have... Look. See, happy chord, tense chord, and then it doesn't resolve the tension. His or her life doesn't have a resolution, right? He's immortal, and he wants that resolution. So I feel like this harmony does a great job of symbolizing that want, right? That need to resolve. It teases the resolution, but it never resolves. And then the unmoving bass. I don't remember how it ends. Oh, the bass is still here. And I mean, considering this bass was already being held at the beginning of the track, during the string session, it was being held too. Oh, there's whispers. Wow, the bass, actually, this note here is held throughout the entire song, beginning, middle, and end, and then it suddenly stops. Right? How better could you symbolize the character of G? That's amazing. This track was the random winner of one of our Patreon polls. Now in our Patreon, every month we choose just a random track out of all the suggestions on Patreon to get a video made just like this one. So if you check out our Patreon, over here you go there and you suggest a track. Even if you suggest a track that is not very popular, is not gonna win any polls, you can still win the random selection. So check out our Patreon, and remember, whenever you're ready to spread your wings and go on a music journey again, I'll see you there.